for Sean Murphy, Mark
Зараз
Williams,
огляд
Barry
матчу,
Hawkins, the same for Faye.
якому
So
зіграє
the big hitters were defeated.
Judd,
This would be a big
Trump
upset,
і
I think.
Марк
Sydney Wilson
Селбі.
not currently on the tour. He hasn't
І
been for
грається
a few
турнір,
years
який
now.
чемпіоншип,
But one opportunity for him to show us
четвертьфінальна
what he can do here.
стадія турніру. Також на цьому турнірі
So Judd Trump comes to the Scottish Open off the back of a wonderful season so far. 3 ranking titles, including the first 2 Home Nations events, the English and Northern Ireland Opens. He was runner-up of the Champion of Champions. He was a semi-finalist at the UK Championship. So he really has been going deep in pretty much every event. Starts out here in Edinburgh against Sydney Wilson, 33 years of age from Southend. He's got to the penultimate round at both of the Q School events, so he didn't get on the tour, but he's high up the top-up list, and this is actually his 6th ranking event he's played in this season. They don't come much tougher, Joe, than this one.
Yeah, what a match
Тут
for him
зіграє з
to
парою Дінджин
be
Ху
playing in
Марчі.
against such an informed player as Judd Trump. They have played before, once before. It's 8 years ago
Четвертьфіналіст
now.
турніру отримує 25 тисяч фунтів. Півфіналіст отримує 50 тисяч фунтів. І чемпіон турніру отримує 250 тисяч фунтів. Фіналіст.
I suppose you can get easier draws than this.
Ten матчі грають 11 фреймів.
That's an understatement. And I tell you what, it doesn't get any easier actually in the next round. Zhang Anda is waiting. Now you might wonder why, because he's world number 13, but the qualifying and therefore the seedings was done back in October. That's before he won that international championship.
Право середнього лузу.
If, say, Trump does come through as he's expected to, he'll be playing someone he's played in a final already this season. I know one thing as well. I bet World Snooker Tour are pleased they got rid of that £1 million bonus for winning all 4 Home Nations events, because Trump's halfway there, isn't he?
Yeah, somebody would have been sweating.
Trump набирає.
Well, he could have took the red on down the left side of the table there, Trump, but he's showing respect to Sydney, playing the safety instead of the pot.
І Марк Селбі виграє перший фрейм і веде цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0. Так, початок
Playing the
другого
cue
фрейму.
ball to the left side of the table made things a little bit more difficult. Not sure if he can clip the red that's next to the pink, closest to the pink. But if not, then he's got to put something on the cue ball here. Maybe a lot of right-hand side to avoid the reds, but no, he's playing a screw shot. Played the plant. And he wasn't far away either. Good cue par that from Sydney Wilson.
Well, it was a bit Trump-esque, wasn't it? In a way, screwing back.
Had it been Trump facing that shot, I would have probably predicted that, but I didn't predict it for Sydney. So, well, that was a very risky shot to take on. So, Sydney with a chance here.
The last thing Trump wanted to do, actually, is hand him a straightforward chance to get going, because he knows the lack of experience on TV tables and all the rest of it. What he needs is kind of an easy starter. Easy-ish.
Well, the pot not too difficult, obviously, but the cannon to the black, or to try and miss the black, is another thing. He might just try and push the black towards that right corner pocket. Also got this red to the middle that he's looking at. Less danger with that one, I suppose. Could have done without the kiss, and he needs to be making more than 1 point when he gets a nice lead like that. He chose to play the red to the middle, but it looked like the cue ball was always going into the yellow. Caught it nearly full. So maybe he should have taken the red to the left corner, pushed the black towards the corner.
This is one Home Nations event Judd Trump hasn't won. he's been in a couple of semi-finals, but yet to reach a final. Looking to just end the year with yet more silverware. Very relaxed in that interview with Alan McManus. Well, I tell you what, he's been lucky there. He's gone in off. He could have left him right in.
Yeah, he caught the second red below the pink. Just look at this again. He was trying to swing the cue ball past those reds, but caught it just a little bit too thin. And as David said, very fortunate that the cue ball went in off.
Yeah, just thinking how relaxed he looked in that interview with Alan, but sometimes you can be a bit too relaxed, maybe. I'm sure as this match continues, he'll knock them down.
Well, he's no different from every other player. He needs confidence playing this game. And he spotted a possible plant there, but I have to play the other two reds onto that possible plant. This isn't straightforward. Yeah, good shot. Well, just overscrewed for the pink, but he's on the blue. Well spotted.
Day one, it's been well attended all day. It's been a great day to have a ticket with so many top players in action. Second year at the Meadowbank Centre.
Well, just looking at the shot that Sydney played there, that wasn't a good positional shot. Anywhere down the right side of the table, and he's got the red. That's closest to the right corner. And by screwing the cue ball to the left side of the table, I'm just not sure what red he played for. Yep, he can get this red, but it's very awkward to get position. You need to be making things easy for yourself when you're playing this game. Just what he didn't want to do. Now, what can Trump do? He's got an easy red to the right corner. The black is free. Don't think he can get to it this time round. Well, maybe he can. So, well, a chance now for Trump. And that's simply because Sydney played a poor positional shot when he was nicely on the blue.
Well, of course, we talk about seasons rather than calendar years, but well, this was the positional shot. Yeah, one of the issues for Wilson is the table. You know, he's not used to these lightning fast tables playing amateur snooker. But Trump, as I say, we don't talk about calendar years, but the fact is he started 2023 by winning the Masters. And he was said to have had a bad season, but that's one of the majors in the game. He just wasn't having as good a season as he'd had, you know, in previous years. But that's all been put right, of course, this season. 3 in a row he won. Incredible run of victories, bearing in mind they're in different parts of the world. Basically back to back. And since then, champion of champions final. He was outplayed there by Mark Allen. That can happen. And then he got to the semis of the UK Championship. He wasn't in the best of health, it's got to be said, although neither was Ding. Ding beat him 6-4 just a couple of weeks ago. But in terms of his scoring, Joe, he's had 52 centuries this season. That's 7 more than he made the whole of last season, and he's miles in front of anybody else on that list.
And a long way to go yet. And a few big tournaments to come.
Yeah, so the record that Neil Robertson set, 103 for a season, you think will be under threat. because Trump's going to be in every tournament that he wants to be in until the end of the season.
Sidney Wilson there just reflecting on that misread with the rest.
Так, зараз буде огляд матчу, в якому зіграє Judd Trump і Марк Селбі. І грається турнір UK Championship. Четвертьфінальна стадія турніру. На цьому турнірі і грає Ронні О'Саліван, Джо Хіггінс, Шон Мерфі, Напон Сенгахем, Тіню Нух, Лін Джин Ху, який грає четвертьфінал на другому столі з Марком Джей Вільямсом. Ронні О'Саліван вийшов в півфінал і зіграє з Хусейном і зараз зіграється матч за вихід. Тут зіграє з парою Дін Джин Ху, Марк Джей Вільямс. Завтра в півфінальному матчі.
It could have been easier. Not sure if this red will pass the other red into the right corner. He has a red to the middle.
50 тисяч фунтів і чемпіон турніру отримує 250 тисяч фунтів. Фіналіст 100 тисяч. Так, матч грається з 12 фреймів. Початок першого фрейму.
Maybe you can have to century tally here.
Право середню лузу.
Let's first get the frame one.
Вихід на розовий.
It's right what he says, though, in that interview. He's got nothing to prove now this season. He's already achieved an incredible feat winning the 3 in a row. He wants to win more, of course, but his confidence is high. Every right to feel relaxed. But when you're in that purple patch, you want to stay in it.
Трамп набирає 62 очка в першому фреймі, вихід на чорний шар. Забиває його в правому нижню лузу. І Марк Селбі виграє перший фрейм, ведеться в матчі з рахунком. Так, початок другого фрейму.
3 on the bounce, very special as well. So he's getting back into that zone, that winning zone.
Yeah, he's got that old sort of Henry Davis idea that you should try and win everything you play in rather than sort of rank the events.
Oh, what a clever shot that was. He played the cannon to the red half ball with lots of right-hand side on the cue ball to take the cue ball over to the side cushion. That was a very clever positional shot he played there.
Yeah, and just on the centuries thing, of course, the other thing is he's getting close to 1,000 and he's trying to become the second player to get there. He's on 9.53. We'll see that shot again. John Higgins, 9.65. So it's between the two of them as to who's going to be first. Ronnie O'Sullivan was first, but between the two of them to get into second place.
79.
Determined to make one here. But he hasn't. He's broken down 79. But what he has done is punish the Sid Wilson area. He had a couple of chances in that frame. They were good ones. But this is a big night for him, of course, against the player of the season so far, Judd Trump, who's off and running here in Edinburgh, leading 1-0.
From Bristol, grew up in Whitchurch. I think I started off playing pool when I was about 4 or 5, and then I started playing snooker at 6, and I could just about reach the table. And yeah, I used to play in competitions every weekend. Used to practice 2 hours on Monday, Thursday, Friday after school, and just kind of grew from there, really. I think from an early age I kind of knew I wanted to play snooker and I didn't want to do anything else. So it kind of made it easy for me. All my concentration went into that, and I think just watching on TV, you always just want to be world champion and world number one. I think those were my two main goals. It's hard to know in yourself, but there was kind of, if I'm looking back now, there was a bit of a fuss around me when I played, probably when I was 6 or 7, just by what other people were saying, that they haven't really seen sort of the talent at such a young age. When I made my first century was a bit of a milestone when I was 10 in tournament, and making the 147. I was youngest at the time. I think I still am at 14. So after that, maybe turning professional, and then getting to the World Championship when I was 17. I'd say as every year's gone on, my game has got more all-rounded and my safety's got better. I think for the last 5-6 years, my all-round game has been pretty much complete. It's just about fine-tuning it and trying to get that confidence and keep it every season. I think my performance in the World Championship final against John Higgins the second time, I think that's a lot. I take a lot of pride from that. That's the real standout to me. Second place is probably beating Ronnie in the same season in the Masters final.
Scottish Open is the last chance to win a trophy on the World Snooker Tour in 2023. Judd Trump, of course, has already won plenty. He's 1-0 up here against Sidney Wilson. He didn't make the century in frame 1, but he made the frame-winning break, 79. Best of 7. Zhang Anda awaits in round 2. It'll be a tasty one if Trump, of course, comes through to play him, because they both really played great stuff this season.
Not the best of break-offs for Sidney Wilson. You leave a red sticking out with the white ball so far away from the baulk cushion. You can expect to lose the frame sometimes. That's a let-off. So, a chance for Sidney. The black's free, just needs to drop it in. Just cannot afford to miss them, can you? That's 2 he's missed with the rest. The one in the last frame cost him the frame. Certainly opened things up, but is he on one? Very nearly potted a red.
7.
Difficult to tell from here. That red he's looking at, well, it's very tight. It looks like it will go, but it's very tight, this. Yeah, good pot.
8.
And he's on the black, just. What an excellent shot that was. Number 1 to pot the red, but to avoid the red on the cushion and finish on the black. Excellent.
Well, big chance for a big break now. Doesn't waste any time, does he, getting the reds into play if he can. Would have been unlucky not to be on one. He's just about on it, and here we go. Fill your boots time.
This is where the top players, when they're feeling confident, this is just like a practice routine. Won't even be thinking about the match, winning or losing, just enjoy potting balls like they do in practice.
31. 32.
In fact, in practice, I'd probably put a couple of balls on the cushion to try and knock them off, but there's nothing on the cushion.
Зробте огляд матчу, в якому зіграє Judd Trump і Марк Селбі. І грається турнір UK Championship.
Switch to right-handed.
Четвертьфінальна стадія турніра.
40.
Також на цьому турнірі
Seems to be getting quick around the table as well, which is a bad sign for Sydney.
Ронні О'Саліван, Джо Хіггінс, Шон Мерфі, Натан Сенгахем, Тіню Нух, Ін Джин Ху,
48.
який грає четвертьфінал
Doesn't
на
need to go
другому
into
столі з
them.
Марком Джей
Still
Вільямсом.
plenty of reds to play for.
Ронні О'Саліван вийшов в півфінал, де зіграє з Хусейном Офейном. І
55.
зараз зіграється матч за вихід на... Хто зіграє з парою Дін Джин Ху, Марк Джей Вільямс. Завтра півфінальний
Look
матч.
how high he's left the cue ball, playing for the black, and that's just so he can maneuver that cue ball where he wants.
25 000 фунтів. Півфіналіст отримує 50 000
Not
фунтів.
interested in getting right behind
Чемпіон
the shot,
турніру
making it
отримує
easy.
250 000
More interested in
фунтів.
putting
Фіналіст
that
100
cue ball
000.
in a position where he can maneuver it for
Так,
the
матч
next
грає
shot.
14
And
фреймів.
that is absolutely spot on.
Так, початок першого фрейму.
Well, he was sure disappointed not to make a century in the first frame. He'd be really disappointed not to make a big one here.
Так, вже
Ben
там
Mertens
забуває,
made a
що вони ще
139 in qualifying, so that set the target for the high break prize, 5,000.
вихід на
You
розовий.
can still see there's still 75 on here.
71.
And that little kiss there has developed those three reds below the pink. Just little shots like that, he's making it so much easier for himself. Well, he had a chance. He missed the red with the rest, Sydney.
7.
Так, Селбін там набирає.
Cost him dearly in the first frame when he missed with the rest.
Чорний шар.
Here it is again. Not a difficult shot, but, well, it never touched the angles.
Селбі виграє перший фрейм,
Wish he had that one
матчі
again.
з рахунком 1-0. Так, початок другого фрейму.
85. 86.
So he's looking here and will surely go on to make his 53rd century of the season.
94.
Second place, Mark Williams on 28. That's how far in front he's been of everyone else this season in terms of scoring. There it is. Just 5 minutes so far for this break.
1.
Yes, they left a nice position on the pink to get to that last red.
Yeah, I should say Ronnie O'Sullivan's also had 28. Trump, he's just a man on a mission when it comes to centuries. So, possible 142 here, which would be a good target, clearly, for the high break prize.
Oh, delightful little screw shot there with his right hand.
It's outrageous, really, isn't it? You know, you'd think he'd be good enough left-handed. Well, he's just in the form kind of his life, isn't he, this season? It's all come back for Trump. And we've seen it again here. Just making the game look ridiculously easy, and we know that snooker isn't. Sydney Wilson hasn't found it easy tonight. He left the chance. Judd Trump has made a magnificent total clearance of 142. He's in red-hot form, and already, after just 21 minutes, he's halfway to victory at 2-0. Yeah, looking good, and a heavy favourite clearly to progress to round 2. Let's hear more now about Judd Trump in a cut above the rest.
Judd, what makes you stand out from other players in terms of your playing style?
Maybe a little bit more adventurous, trying to give the crowd more of a buzz, trying to kind of, in a way, show off, but just show them what can be done, not just on the practice table, because anyone can sort of pull it off there, but I want to show what I can do out there on the main arena and get people sort of trying to replicate those kind of shots and trying to give them a bit of a buzz.
And how about what makes you different in terms of your temperament?
Someone that can deal with stuff quite well, good or bad, and certainly things that help. You don't want to be sort of banging your cue or anything while you're out there. It's always nice to watch other people do it. It's entertaining, but for me, I'm someone I think I'm able to take the good with the bad, and I know over the course of a season that it should level out.
What makes you different in terms of your practice methods?
I feel like I work a lot harder than pretty much anyone, and it's just maybe the quality over the quantity as well. Is sort of real precision, snooker, and a lot of hard work, a lot of concentration, and I feel like if in practice I'm able to go sort of 7, 8, 9 frames without missing a ball, then when you get into a tournament you'll be able to do the same.
How about your fitness regime?
It's difficult because there's so much travelling, but I'm always someone that tries to keep the momentum going, really try and get into the gym 2 or 3 times, even if it's just sort of uphill walking, just to burn some calories and try and just stay mentally fit as well as physically.
And then what about your hobbies and interests?
At the moment I've just got back into golf with my brother, so I think the past couple of tournaments I've been able just to play a bit of golf in between, just to kind of pass the time, but it's getting a bit cold now, so I'm either going to have to get in the gym a lot more or find a new hobby.
Just finally, what about your dress sense?
I don't think snooker players are really that stylish, but everyone obviously has their individual taste. I'm maybe someone that's maybe delved into more of the designer brands down the line, but at the moment it's just kind of, for me, it's just a little bit, is in that little bit of getting old era. I just try not to dress too wild.
So 2-0 it is to Judd Trump, a 1-4-2 from him. And well, Joe, you like this shot at the end of the break?
Yeah, he potted the pink at the end of the break. Now, the shot here is to come off the 2 cushions, but he's gone the opposite way. He's come off the side cushion, black cushion. Now, I've never seen it played that way before. Not, you know, I mean, I've seen it in exhibitions and tried it myself in exhibitions, but more often than not going off. But he played it to perfection.
Well, it was like shelling peas, wasn't it, that break, really? He did look so relaxed and just kind of knew he was going to make it, and he did. He set the high break target, 1-4-2, and he's 2 frames away from the second round.
Well, he says he likes to show off, and it's little shots like that I feel that you've got to mention, because it's so unorthodox to play it off those 2 cushions. Normally you'd play black cushion, side cushion, but he went the opposite way, and you know, hardly anybody would notice it, but I can tell you that's a very difficult shot to play. Is this a half chance? He's played to get high on the blue. And he's got there, and this is to open the reds up. And you can see people in the crowd just nodding the reds there, thinking, what can you do to stop him? Well, needs a bit of bad luck. But he hasn't got it there. I think the red will pass the black into the right corner.
6.
Only just. Another great shot. Now he could decide to go into them again. There's only 1 free red out. So, I'm surprised if he didn't. And he's on one.
12.
Yeah, if I was John Higgins and Oliver Brown, I'd be getting the gear on because they're up next. It might not be too long now. Move trumps in.
Yeah, trying to develop the pink and black here. Well, he has done, but he's not on either of those two balls, so it's going to have to be a difficult blue.
В якому зіграє Judd Trump і Марк Селбі.
Could always play one of those other kind of shots. A safety.
Четвертьфінальна стадія турніру.
I don't think he's thinking about safety.
Blue ball.
Також на цьому турнірі грає Ронні Саліван, Джо Хіггінс,
Wonderful. And played it with a lot of screw on the cue ball to try and come down for these three reds closest together.
який грає
18.
четвертьфінал на другому столі з Марком Джей Вільямсом. Ронні Саліван вийшов в півфінал, де зіграє з Хусейном Фейном.
19.
He didn't get the kiss full enough to stay on the pink and black. So if he can see either of
Зараз
those
зіграється
shots,
матч за вихід на
it's going to be tough.
хто зіграє з парою Дін Джин Ху, Марк Джей Вільямс. Завтра в півфінальному матчі.
So time to play one of those.
Четвертьфіналіст турніру отримує 25 тисяч фунтів,
It's called a
Yellow.
safety.
півфіналіст отримує 50 тисяч фунтів і чемпіон турніру отримує 250 тисяч фунтів, фіналіст 100 тисяч.
So Sydney
Так матч
is
грається на
delighted.
ступені.
Trump has broken down.
Так, початок першого фрейму.
Thinks he gets another shot in this frame.
Так, вже Трамп забиває червоний шар. Право середню лузу. Так, вихід на розовий.
Well, he hasn't. Well, I don't know if he did hold his hand up or just. But I think he played that because the cue ball is nowhere near the ball cushion for the safety.
Так, Селбі, Трамп набирає 62 очка в першому фреймі. Вихід на чорний шар. Так, забиває його в праву ближню лузу. І Марк Селбі виграє перший фрейм і веде в цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0. Так, початок другого фрейму.
It wasn't a natural plant, that's for sure.
Well, he's been kind of just watching on, hasn't he, tonight? But this is another chance. He did have a few, of course, certainly in frame one.
Well, this is really a very good chance. And if he can get rid of one of those reds near the pink spot, then play for the pink. Not sure if he can hold for those two reds. But it will make break building easier if he could get rid of one of those two reds. Just in between both of them, isn't it?
9.
Too far for one, not far enough for the other. And that was a good red to get rid of. Now if he does play for the pink off one of these next reds, it would be free.
12.
He's a little hesitant to use the rest. He's looking at the easier red to the left corner. He's missed 2 with the rest. And that make that 3.
Yeah, you're right. He didn't want to play it, did he? But
Sydney Wilson,
he did, and he's missed it. So another chance goes begging.
Yeah, he needs some rest practice. For his coach, that's all he'll play tomorrow. So Trump in again, bringing reds off the cushion. Doesn't need the black, which is tied up.
Must be so nice to come here with nothing to prove. There's various players who are trying to get in the World Grand Prix. There's players trying to sort of stay in the top 16. There's tour survival in the air for players low down the list. None of that for Trump. I suppose the only issue for him is he wants to move closer to the world #1 spot. But in terms of winning titles, he's got nothing to prove. If he bowed out early, you know, it wouldn't really register that much. Obviously, he's got a chance to win another title, which is what he's looking at. He's up to 26 now in terms of ranking events. He's gone past Mark Williams on the list. He's only 2 behind Steve Davis.
Well, he's still got age on his side, hasn't he? So every chance of being the best ever. The highest number of ranking events. Long way to go, but he's young enough.
Problem is the older players keep winning them, don't they? Ronnie O'Sullivan won the UK Championship. Mark Williams won the British Open. He has gone past Williams, as I said.
17.
But Ronnie now on 40. In front, won't need the red tied up with the black.
24.
And won't need the red on the cushion, actually.
Yep, another pink of this red. And Sydney will need snookers.
31.
So nothing fancy with this red, just drop it in, make sure of it. It's just 1 snooker at the moment.
Well, again, Sydney Wilson did have a scoring chance, but missed that red with the rest that we saw earlier on, and it's cost him.
Brown ball.
Now then, what sort of shots are you going to play here?
Look at this. What a great attempt. Terrific brown, and nearly got a very good cannon.
42.
What about a double then? Wait for it.
Judd from 42. And the frame.
Well, the frame goes to Judd Trump, and we've only been going 33 minutes. He's already on the cusp of victory here. He leads Sydney Wilson in Edinburgh by 3 frames to 0. Now, coming up on table 2 later, Mark Allen against Jamie Jones. Of course, it's 2 nights on from Mark Allen winning the shootout. Let's hear what he has to say ahead of the evening's proceedings.
Mark, we'll get to the big match in a moment that you have tonight, but let's go back 48 hours. How are you feeling after the shootout?
I was tired yesterday. It was a long old journey up, taxis and trains and planes and whatever, but look, it's a good problem to have, and I'm here now and ready to go.
You're a completely different snooker player these days, in my opinion, to 3, 4, 5 years ago. What say you?
I probably am. I might disagree if it's for the best or for not, but I'd love to be free flowing and no heavy scoring. It's not always that easy, and I feel like I've found another way to win, which I probably didn't have before. Standing good step for getting the later stages of tournaments when you're not on your A game.
Just thinking about it now, actually, what I'm sort of driving at here is that I think you have to build a reputation as a player. I don't want to play this guy. I think you've got that now, you know, the thoughts of other players.
Yeah, probably, like, there was a little bit of that before when people knew I could go in and blow people away, you know, on any given day, but I wasn't overly consistent. I feel like I've got my consistency level to a good point now. No, consistently getting to the later stages of tournaments. No, I think I've won 6 in the last 2 years. No, there's probably only Judd and Ronnie, maybe one more, if that. So, yeah, I feel like I've got that fear factor, but you still need to go out there and perform. There's a lot of good players about.
Yeah, there are, and you've got one tonight, and JJ, he's a top player, isn't
he? He is, he's a good kid as well. No, we grew up playing a lot of junior stuff together. Beat me in the final of the European Under-19s back in the day. No, that's how long we've been about, and I expect a really tough match. He's not scared to beat anyone.
You've got a lot of recent success in home nations. Let's hope for more this week.
Cheers.
There is Mark Allen with Gary Wilson, who's always in the practice room, Gary. Of course, he won this morning, the defending champion 4-3 over Elliot Slesser. Allen still putting in the work. 2 days on from winning his latest title, ranking him at number 10. Coming here again like Trump with nothing to prove. He's also, of course, won the Champion of Champions this season. And he'll be up against Jamie Jones. You can watch that later on Discovery Plus on Table 2. Wilson on at the moment.
Takže Trump забиває червоний шар. Право середню лузу. Вихід на розовий.
Well, this afternoon we saw Sam Craigie come from 3-0 down to beat Mark Williams 4-3, but this would be extraordinary now if Sidney Wilson could turn this around. Trump has just looked so confident this evening. Clearance in front two, the highlight so far.
Забиває його праву нижню лузу. І Марк Селбі виграє перший фрейм і веде цьому матчі з рахунком 1-0.
If it does come through, clearly it will be a lot tougher tomorrow against Zhang Anda, one of the players of the season and certainly the most improved player on the circuit.
Yeah, that's the thing with snooker, though. That it doesn't matter who you are. If you can get in, open the balls up and win the frame in one visit, the opponent could be anybody sat in the chair. And Trump showing how well he's playing at the moment. He's full of confidence, you can see that. He just wants to get into those reds and win the frame every time at one visit.
Remember, the next match on this table will be John Higgins against Oliver Brown. Higgins was runner-up in the first Scottish Open in the Home Nations to Moko Fu. Well, there you go, clean as a whistle. Just slightly lost the white.
Yeah, which could be to his advantage. If he goes into the reds, he could play for the loose one. Looking at going into them though. I'm not sure if he could hold for that loose red if he just drops it in, so maybe just try and catch that end red, which is what he was looking at. Now, does it pass the pink?
8.
Not on this table. Not sure if that red by the pink spot will go into the right corner. I think he's looking at the safety.
Dot from 8.
Oh, that's a beauty. Great shot from Sidney Wilson. Didn't quite hold that cue ball for the green into the yellow pocket, but that was clean, wasn't it? Great shot. Deserved more than 1 point, that shot.
Ball.
Just on the other matches this evening, Karen Wilson being held to 1 each by Mustafa Dorgum, Egyptian player. Oliver Lyons, who was a bit unlucky actually against Mark Allen in that shootout the other night. He's 1-0 up to Anthony McGill. Mark Davis leads Robert Milkins 2-0.
Well, it was a half chance, but you've got to cover the other reds if you're going to go for those difficult shots. Trump with a similar type of shot, but his goes in. No need to go into them just yet either. You could leave an angle on this next red to open the reds up with the pink and the blue sat there waiting. If this shot goes right, it could be Sidney Wilson's last shot. Very nearly missed the red, but he's done what I said. Open the reds on the pink.
Yeah, there was a sort of ooh in the audience there, but the red went in. He wouldn't dare not, I think, at the moment. And Trump has his chance to get it won. He was always a heavy favourite, of course, coming in, but you have to get the job done.
15.
It's a bit of a statement for all the other players watching that Trump has not yet checked out for Christmas. He's come here to Edinburgh determined to win another title. I thought of the 3 that he won in a row. He played his best actually in Belfast, the 3rd of them. There were several matches there he had to rally from behind. And also stamina was an issue, I guess, by then, all the snooker he'd played, but he was superb. course, in the end, won the final quite comfortably against Chris Wakelin, but there were a few matches along the way where he had to fight back in.
Third one.
Well, he could decide to give them a little touch here, those reds. He'd be guaranteed to be on the red to the left middle if he's not on any of the easy reds. Easy enough to play for the loose reds from this pink. Let's just see what he plays. Yeah, that's the shot that I thought he would have played. It could have been kinder though.
Так, зараз буде огляд матчу, в якому зіграє Judd Trump і Марк Селбі. І грається турнір UK Championship. Четвертьфінальна стадія турніру.
And he played it just a touch slower. That would have still split nicely, but he'd have been closer to the red to the middle.
І грає Ронні Саліван,
Not easy, this.
Джо Хіггінс, Шон Мерфі, Натан Сенгафен, Кімінук.
Doesn't really want to play the safety, but
який грає
he's got a
четвертьфінал
45-point lead.
на другому столі з Марком Джей Вільямсом. Ронні Саліван вийшов в півфінал, де зіграє з Хусейном Фейном. І зараз зіграється матч за вихід на... Хто зіграє з парою Дін Джун Ху, Марк Джей Вільямс. Завтра в півфінальному матчі. Четвертьфіналіст турніру отримує 25 тисяч фунтів. Півфіналіст отримує 50 тисяч фунтів і чемпіон турніру отримує 250 тисяч фунтів. Фіналіст 100 тисяч. Так, матч грається 12 фреймів. Так, початок першого фрейму.
And that was a problem. It was such a difficult shot to play. And I was almost guaranteed to leave Sydney with a chance if he missed it.
Yeah, I just think he wants more centuries. I think that's what on his mind. He had a chance for one there. Maybe feels that, you know, his opponent has struggled, and even if he leaves him in, he won't punish him. We'll see. Can happen.
Well, it's happened many times to Trump himself. I know that he's been in front many times with players and just gone for that one shot to please the crowd, maybe. He's finished up losing the match. Big ask now. Sydney. It starts with a good pot.
Yeah, and it'd be nice to see him put something together, wouldn't it? You know, he's been a bit of a bruising evening so far. His highest break only 12 up to now. Actually, when he was a young lad, had coaching from Vic Harris, who was a bit of a legend in the Essex snooker scene. Reached the highest ranking of 80th when he was on the tour. That was back in 2016. And as I say, he did well in the Q School. He got to the penultimate round of both events early this year. Oh dear. Good shot, he says, rather sarcastically. It kind of sums up his evening, really. The thing is, this isn't the Q School, this is the big league. And he has struggled. He'll be the first to admit it.
Yeah, I just felt for him a little bit there, because that's a shot that he would never miss in practice. I know you could argue this isn't practice, but you still wouldn't expect him to miss that kind of shot. Oh, look at that for a shot. Bridging over the balls and just strikes it into the corner pocket as though it's easy.
Sydney Wilson applauding. The thing is, I mean, that was a great shot from Trump, but coming out here, big crowd, table one, live TV, You know, the quick table, it's all second nature to him. Whereas obviously Sydney Wilson, it isn't.
Yeah, he's certainly out of his comfort zone, isn't he, Sydney Wilson? I suppose it's all experience for him.
14.
A little cannon to pink, and he'd be on the red to the right corner.
Black is match ball.
Yeah, made sure of it.
Well, it's been a short evening for Judd Trump. This match, 46 minutes, and whatever's left now, we may see a few shots here before this is over to entertain the crowd. Yeah, anything could be about to happen now. Because he can't make the ton, obviously, so it's about whatever he wants to play here.
Well, that was a bit ordinary, wasn't it? Yeah, you can expect anything.
Well, I hope our camera operator is okay, because that was perilously close. But Judd Trump is certainly okay, because in 47 minutes, he's booked his place in the last 64 of the Scottish Open, looking for one more trophy in 2023. It was a pretty bruising night for Sydney Wilson. Trump the winner, 4-0. As I say, you feel it'll be a tougher match against Zhang Anda, of course, in round 2. That's a tasty one. Tomorrow, coming up, we've got all the analysis, and then it's John Higgins against Oliver Brown.